Now I'm going to check and see if...
Ball cap, stocking cap, good to go. Hey Bikeaholics, Ryan Urlacher here, lawabidingbiker.com. Thanks for checking back in. If you don't already know, Harley-Davidson brand heated grips. Most of the kits, majority of them come made to externally wire on the left side, which means the wire runs down the left side of your bar. We got a fix for that. Completely free video for you guys. That's right, we've done a ton of heated grip projects here in the Law Abiding Biker Garage. And oftentimes a particular rider may not want those grips externally wired and internally wired instead. And Harley doesn't really allow for that most of their kits. Well, Lurch came up with a way and a little custom job. Don't worry, we got your back. We're gonna show you how to do it on some modifications you can make to the HD kits and actually run those wires down your left handlebar internally. So check this out. And if you appreciate the detail and quality in this free video, guys, then you've got to check out our #1 ranked Harley-Davidson brand heated grips install video. I'm gonna pop a card there, immediate access. You guys can click through. It'll also be in the description below. It is one of our very few premium videos, and by purchasing it, you'll be able to install heated grips, no doubt, and you'll be supporting us so we can make sure and keep helping bikers around the world. They are really made to externally wire. We're gonna actually show you a trick, kind of a customization, so that you can get your heated grips installed internally. This isn't in the instructions, this is just something we've played with over time. And it's gonna be for 2014 and newer Harley models with the new housings and clamping systems. So it'll be specific to that, but what you're looking at there is the heated grip, of course, he's got. So you wanna have your heated grip, and then you wanna have your housing. This is our left housing, because that is the one that runs on the outside of the left bar normally. And again, we're gonna show you how to get it all hooked up internally. So we'll get in closer here and show you what we're doing.
Okay, as we mentioned, the majority of these heated grips are designed to be wired externally, meaning this power wire here that I'm touching with my thumb runs between the grip and the switch housing, and then you could clamp it onto your bar and run it on down. One thing to note is that on these grips, there are little tabs here on this side and on this side, and inside the switch housing there's the same cutout. So these grips go in and they fit a cutout inside of the housing. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right in here, and they can really only go in one certain way. So if we set the grip inside of the housing here and get it into where it's supposed to be, you can feel it just locks right into place. And now with it in place, you can see that the wire runs between the grip and the housing. What I want to do is make a little bit of a trough cutout, if you will, in the housing so that I can get this wire inside. And that'll be step one of what we have to do to modify these grips and housings. After I do that, then I'll have to take and make a little bit of a channel in the grip itself to get the wire into the inside of the bars without pinching it or rubbing it anywhere. So the first thing I'm going to do is take and turn it over here. Hopefully you can see that. Here's where the wire's coming out, and here's the metal housing that covers your switches. I'm going to mark where that sits naturally with a pencil. Now I'm going to make my cutout in the switch housing itself. I've made my little mark. Let me get that a little closer so you can see it. You can see the marks there with my pencil. It doesn't have to be a real big, deep cutout. It just needs to be big enough for the wiring here to get through. Now I'm going to check and see if the cutout is deep enough for the wire. And all this is here is a Dremel tool with a grinding stone on it that's shaped just nicely. As you can see, it's kind of a cone shaped, and it's about the size of the wire. So by making my little trough in here, hopefully I can get this bad boy in. I'm going to do a little test fit, and that looks pretty good to me. I might take just a little bit more off, and now you can see that instead of running on the outside, it's running on the inside here. And I just want a little more room. I don't need more room on the outside here, but I want a little more on the inside. One thing that would be important as well is on the inside here, you've got the metal. There's some plastic here, and then the metal on here. Make sure you grind that down so you don't have a sharp edge right there. Let's test fit this bad boy again. All right, I'm happy with that. So hopefully you can see this here. I'll point it out. Now instead of the wire coming out on the outside of the metal housing, it's got a channel that it can come into the housing with. Now our next issue is going to be with smashing the wire inside of the housing. So what we're going to do is take out some of this plastic here so we can create a trough or a channel, if you will, for it to run. And then I will show you where it lines up in here, because ideally, here's a switch housing. You got all this metal here. If I was to bring the wire in right about here where it's lined up, it's going to get smashed. So I've got to take some of the plastic out of the grip to create a channel for it to run right here, and then pop in right here where this opening is at the bottom. The wire can actually run through that to where the other wires are for the switches and run them down the bar together. And that'll make more sense when I put it all together and show you.
So a ton of blood, sweat, and tears go into making these constant free videos and podcasts that we put out. Doesn't come at a cost, guys. You can support us right here. I'll pop a card. Become an exclusive patron member. There is access to t-shirts and stickers, our private Facebook group, which is exploding. It's basically a forum. And then at top level, you can get access to our premium videos, guys. It is a way you can support us and make sure this show keeps heading on down the road. So get involved. All right, back to your free video.
Now to figure out how much of the plastic I need to take out, let me show you for reference here. This plastic piece, as I mentioned earlier, has some notches in it so that it fits inside of the switch housing and doesn't rock around. It locks it in place. I'm going to take some of this plastic out to make my channel. So what I need to do is now take my switch housing here and put it into the switches and put it into the housing. And line my grip back up there. I'm going to want it to run through this housing and then pop out so I can run it through the switch, as I mentioned. So I've got to figure out about where that is, and I'm going to take a pencil and mark that. The opening, if you can see it, is right here. That's where the wire is going to go through, and again, it'll make more sense when I get you a nice close-up of it. But I'm going to have to cut out basically from where the wire starts to about where that opening is, and that's right there. And the next thing I'm going to do then, if I can get that out, there we go, is take some plastic out from here all the way around to where I made my mark. So I got my handy dandy Dremel tool again, and I'm going to use that to take this plastic out. Again, starting from where the wire comes out all the way around to where my mark is. And this is plastic, so it smells real good when you get it hot. It's melting as I'm grinding on it, so I'm going to have to move some of this goo out of the way. One thing of note here, be careful with your Dremel tool. You don't want to nick your wire that's coming out of there. And I'm almost there. And looking at it from the front now, you can see I still got my tabs in place. That's important, so it locks into the bar. But now I've removed this plastic out, and what that's going to allow it to do is come in here and set inside of that trough, that channel, and go into the bar. Okay, now we're going to put it together and show you how it works. So the switches now are sitting in the switch housing. As you see, switches there. Okay. The first grind mark I made was on that switch housing, which is right here. That allows the wire to come from the grip into the switch housing. The second thing we grinded off was some plastic off of the grip so that the wiring can sit inside of here without getting smashed. So it'll go in, run along, and then it goes right through this part right here. Let me move my thumb out of your way. Here's the back part of the switch here, and it'll have a natural little trough right there, right above the where it hinges and above this ribbon. So right above where it hinges, there's a perfect little place for that wire to go through. So we'll show you the other half of this contraption here. Here is the grip. Let me move it so you can see it. And what we did is cut some of the plastic away to make room for the wiring inside of the housing. So line up your grip. So now you see where we removed the plastic right there. This is the plastic that's been removed. It allows for this wire for the grips to channel through there. All you do is take it and turn it across and match it up with the other wire. And when you put it back in place, the switch here, and it'll be locked on the bar. You'll have this nice little trough where the wire's running underneath. It won't get pinched by the wires, it just runs right in there, and you can hook it up with the other wire for the switches and then fish them through the bar.
I really hope you enjoyed that free video. Don't forget to get subscribed right now before you leave, guys. We have a ton of videos in the works for you guys. Like it, share it with all your biker friends. Don't forget to get signed up for the free email club, lawabidingbiker.com/email club. We'll shoot you an email when we come out with new free videos. Don't forget that weekly podcast, guys. Law Abiding Biker Podcast, heard worldwide, and it is on fire. All right, peace out. So what Lurch is doing now is just using a little razor blade to cut back the loom. That's the stock sheathing that goes around the wires. The wire's back. Of course, he's going to leave the red wire. Just got a little dent. All right, he's just pulling the orange with white stripe through, and then, of course, he's going to pull his black through. We need the orange with white stripe and the black ground to hook into the accessory switch that we just showed you. We're going to leave the red one in the sheathing to run all the way down.